why I quit my barista job in Gordon. Do you remember your first subscriber? I had a customer who drank 4 coffees in a day. My coffee home setup right now is... Hello everyone, back with me again, Laura Angelia. Today we're going to do a Q&A, but before that I have something to show you. This thing right here. I haven't unboxed it. I think I got it weeks ago. Let's unbox it together and we're going to start with the Q&A as well. So I asked you guys to drop me a question on my YouTube community, and here are the questions that you guys posted in there. How long have you been a barista? Are you interested in other aspect of the coffee industry, roasting, or opening a cafe on your own? I've been a barista since 2017, so it's been 5 years. And am I interested in the other aspect of coffee industry, like roastings and stuff? No. I mean, it's a really interesting part of the coffee industry, of course, but my head is just not there. It's opening. Do I want to open a cafe on my own? Yes and no. Right now is definitely no. There's a lot of things that needs to be taken into consideration, and if I own my own coffee shop, I want to take part in it at least 80%, if not 100. But right now I do want to explore other parts of my interest at the moment, and that is not in coffee business. We'll see about that years from now, I guess. Let's open this one. Wow, I'm gonna open it. There's a letter. There's a card as well. Congratulations on blah blah blah. Rick. Who's Rick? I don't know. Do you remember your first subscriber? No. Susan Wojcicki. Susan Wojcicki, the CEO of YouTube. I don't know if you can see. It's actually not heavy or anything. Ooh. Presented to Laura Angelia for passing 100,000 subscribers. Wow. I guess I do want to thank all of you guys who are subscribing to my channel, especially if you've been subscribing to me before 2020, because 2020 is the year where my cover vlog video blew up, and that's where all the journey started. And yeah, I can't thank you guys all enough for your support, because if you're not there, I wouldn't be here. That's all for now. Let's get back to the Q&A. I do really enjoy traveling. I remember I used to make it my mission to always travel to a new country every single year. But the country that I am really looking forward to travel the most is Europe, United States, and go back to Japan. That's my top 3. We'll see how it goes. How long have you been living in Melbourne? What was the journey? Are you permanent? Well, it's quite long. So I've been living in Melbourne since August 2017, and the journey has been long. I think I do have a video where I talk about that, and I'm gonna link it so that you can click and you can follow my journey on becoming a barista in Australia. I'm currently holding a permanent visa in here, but I'm not a citizen. If you were to own your own coffee shop, what kind of concept? A hole-in-the-wall type of coffee shop. Really small, really intimate. There's a window that connects you to the outside. The feeling is like you're sitting at home. You're surrounded by the people that are close to you. That's the kind of vibe that I want if I were to have my own coffee shop. I don't know if some of these are cultural, but here are the things that shocked me when I first moved here. The first one is a lot of businesses closes really early. Coffee shops, cafes, they close at 4, and shopping center closed at 7. Whereas in Indonesia, everything closes minimum 10 p.m. The second thing is people drink coffee a lot in here. Not only once a day, minimum 2 times a day. I had a customer who drank 4 coffees in a day. In Indonesia, people go to coffee shops probably to drink iced lychee tea. At the time, I don't know right now, but at the time, iced lychee tea, iced lemon tea back then. The next one is of course Australian language or slang, because when I learn English I'm more into like American language. Tissue paper, they would say like serviette, and I was like, what is serviette? Serviette? The next one is Australian. They can just casually day drinking, and it's kind of shocked me at the time. I was walking by a cafe one time and then I saw a bunch of people already drinking beer around lunchtime. I think back in Indonesia people only drinks at night. In here, not like that at all. Australia is really clean and they differentiate their trash. Outside you can see at least 2 different trashes. The first one is just a universal trash, and then there's a recycle bin. If you go deeper, there's also hard rubbish bin, there's like a toxic bin or something, compostable bin. I'm still learning. And the last thing, probably in here people get so much more appreciation in the job that they do. In fact, if you're doing labor work, you're probably gonna get paid a lot more than the people who are actually sitting in an office. And that's kind of like me at the time. What are your other ambitions or interests other than being a barista? I've always had a passion in the content creation industry. Approximately 4 years before I moved to Australia, I started my blog. And I was actually doing food blogging for quite a few years, but when I moved to Australia, I don't know if I can continue my content creation work because all of my clients are back in Indonesia. So that's why when I moved to Australia, I was thinking to do a regular job to survive and then think about content creation again once I'm settled. But in the end, I actually do fall in love being a barista, making coffee, and also I can start making video content with my barista job. So it's kind of like, which I'm really thankful as well. What can we expect more from your channel in terms of type of content? Oh, MUTM, thank you for your question. Well. The type of content that you can expect from me in the future is my daily life being an unemployed girl trying to work her way up as a content creator in Australia. I'm still gonna make coffees at home and I'm still going to show you a lot of Melbourne content, Melbourne event, Melbourne food, bars, cafes, coffee culture. I really do love exploring the city. More or less, my channel is going to be more towards the city life, also my life as a content creator in Australia. So if you like that, yes, that's the type of content that you're gonna get from me after this. Hope you're gonna like that. Do you intend continuing working barista long term or do you have other plans? Some of you know that I'm already quitting my barista job at Gordon. Some of you are suspecting, and probably a lot of you don't know that I'm already quitting my job. Yes, that's the hard truth. I am unemployed right now and I don't intend to go back to hospitality industry. I don't want to say ever, but in a long time. Probably. I do really want to focus more on my content creating life, my YouTube, my blog, my Instagram, because that's where my actual passions are. That's the plan. Do you plan to stay in Australia? The short answer for this is yes. Even though my whole family and all of the friends that I grew up with are back in my home country, Indonesia, but right now I feel like Melbourne is home. I do feel really comfortable living in here, and if I can stay here permanently, yes, I'll take the chance. Are you planning to do daily vlogs? I do plan to make vlogs around my daily life, but I'm not gonna do it daily, if that makes sense. What is your ideal home coffee machine? Right now, honestly, I want to explore a lot more coffee machine out there because the technology around coffee machines are getting more and more advanced, and it's really fascinates me. So I don't have an ideal one. As long as the grinder can grind a nice consistent coffee grounds and the coffee machine can pull me a beautiful extraction, my coffee home setup right now is already enough for me. Right now I have a Angelia Classic Pro of Flare 58 with Kinu M47 grinder. Pretty good. Although if I can upgrade the grinder into an automatic one, that would be great. Where do you buy most of your clothes from? I bought most of my clothes actually from AliExpress. Shame on me with the fast fashion, but I don't shop often. When I do, I might buy a lot at once. I'm at the point right now where I just can't splurge on clothing pieces. That's why when I shop my clothes, I do tend to pick something that's either on sale or something that's actually really cheap. But I do have an exception for coat, because you do need some type of material that actually can keep you warm. That's why for that I would pick something that is a good quality. What course did you take in college? Course. Back in Indonesia, I did take a bachelor degree of communication science, and my major is television broadcasting. And then when I came to Melbourne, I did take a course which is commercial cookery, and I took 1 year of studying at the time. How's your health? My moms want to know. I think I'm fairly healthy, I guess. Now that you mention it again, I'm supposed to do my second MRI for my liver in the next couple of weeks. I'll update you on that. Don't worry. Oh, your mom's so sweet. Thank you. Have you ever been in Egypt? No, but that would be an interesting place to visit. This one is in bahasa Indonesia. Ada rencana bikin vlog pakai bahasa Indo nggak? Maybe one day. Oh, sorry. Iya, mungkin suatu saat. Ngomongnya baku banget, kayak formal banget ya. Mungkin suatu hari aku bakalan bikin vlog full pakai bahasa Indonesia dalam sehari. Mungkin, yes. Kangen Indonesia nggak? Iya dong. Orang-orang tercinta yang ada di sana, aku kangen banget. Dan makanannya yang pasti. Do you have milk jug collection? Not a collection, but I did buy my first jug in Darwin, and I ended up not using it at all because it's actually not a good jug, and it's also too small. My second and third jug is from Shinsaku Samurai. If you bought a bundle, they'll give you like a really cheap price, so I bought it, and I still use the 600ml jug very religiously. I really like that one, and I might get another one either from GB, Aronson, or Adacro. That's 3 jugs that I do want to have in my collection. We'll see. What's your favorite latte art shape? I really love Rosetta. If you can do it well, it will turn out really nice. Where did you learn all these techniques of making different types of coffee? I do learn it by doing it. I first started my first barista job in Darwin. I learned all this type of coffees in Australia, sizes of jugs or cups, different type of milks. I learned all that in Darwin, and I'm really grateful that I'm learning it there. So when I moved to Melbourne, I already know what to do. I feel like Darwin is where I learn, and Melbourne is where I really start growing into my barista career. What do you usually wear during winter in Melbourne? I usually would just wear my coat. I have a wool coat that I got from Uniqlo, and that fits well with everything, and it's really warming. How do you build the confidence to do what you're doing now? Any tips? I think I do build a lot of confidence talking or shooting myself in front of the camera just by doing a lot of it. The more I do it, the more comfortable I am, the more confident I am. So the tips for you is start shooting yourself, start getting yourself more and more comfortable in front of the camera. And I guess one of the things that I always put in my head whenever I shoot myself out in the public, I would think it as I'm doing all of this content for me, for my channel. Somehow I think of it as a business. That's where I'm like, okay, yeah, I have to take it seriously. I can't just be, I'm shy, I'm not gonna take the video. If I think of it as something that's really important for me, that's when I'm like, yeah, I have to do it. No matter how shy or not confident, I have to do it. And if I don't take the shot, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna look at all of the footage, and I would be like, shoot, I wish I did take the shot. That feeling is the worst. So just do it. These people probably not gonna see you again in real life, and they don't pay your bills. You do. So do what you can to make the best out of your content. And that's what I'm always trying to put in my head. Just shoot, just shoot, just shoot. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you do have the shot, you can fix it in editing. But if you don't have the shot, you can't replace it with anything else. So just shoot. Just start. Do it. This video is getting very long, but I do have one more thing that I want to answer for you because so many of you have been asking this in my last video. It's about why I quit my barista job in Gordon. First of all, if you have followed me since 2020, I have been saying that I wanted to quit my barista job at the end of the year. In 2020, I want to quit my barista job at the end of the year. In 2021, I said that too, and yeah, here I am, actually quitting my barista job. But truthfully, I'm not really happy with the way I leave Gordon because I feel like there's a lot of unhappy factor when I left, and that's not how I envisioned myself when I wanted to leave my current workplace. But yeah, I did mention at the start of the year that I have been struggling with my mental health, and that's also contributing a lot into my work. I guess with all of the mental health thing, all the pressure at work, the amount of work that I had to do around that time, the business is actually getting busier and busier and busier, but we are always understaffed and things aren't changing. It's really hard to find a good staff at the time as well. So we've been working at the shop understaffed for more than a month, and while the business is getting more revenue, all of the staff are getting really drained, and it's including me. I got really burned out, and at one point I just couldn't handle it anymore because I was already in a dark place at the time, and with everything that's going on at the workplace, I felt really unhappy, and I already had the conversation with my boss about it, and while I was trying to sort things out, I feel like it's just not working anymore. I'm just really unhappy with the situation, and I decided to leave. Because if not, I don't know what's gonna happen with me. I was honestly in a really dark place at the time. I was crying a lot. The feeling that I have is just not pleasant. And when I finally decided to leave, the feeling that I had, there's like a lot of weight just lifted off of my shoulder. And yeah, I just started getting happier and happier and happier, even though I don't have a job. It's weird, right? But yeah, that's what I'm at right now. I'm in a really happy place. Will I ever come back to barista job? Maybe. I do want to try out working in other coffee shops because I usually would always hop around different coffee shops every 6 months or so. I stayed in Gordon for almost 3 years. I might do a backup barista thing, which is you just do like one shift at a cafe when they really need a person to cover up a shift. I might do that. I might bring you guys with me when it happens, but not at the moment. But yeah, hopefully that answers your questions. Thank you so much guys again for being with me and staying in my channel. I hope you guys stay, and I'll see you in my next one really soon.